Blessed day to everyone. This video presentation will take you to the world of PQF or the Philippine Qualification Framework. I am Tabia, together with my partner, Diana S. Macalos, ready to discuss with you the different aspects of the said framework. So brace yourselves and be with us in learning and understanding the different concepts about the PQF. What is the Philippine Qualifications Framework, or PQF? The Philippine Qualifications Framework is a reference system of national standards of qualifications earned by individuals educated and trained in the Philippines. On January 16, 2018, the PQF became into law through the issuance of Republic Act Number 10968, entitled An Act Institutionalizing the Philippine Qualifications Framework, or PQF, establishing the PQF National Coordinating Council, or PQF-NCC, and appropriating funds therefor. It is a collaborative program of the Department of Education, the ED, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, and Professional Regulation Commission, PRC, and the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE. The PQF describes the levels of educational qualifications and sets the standards for qualification outcomes. It is a quality-assured national system for the development, recognition, and award of qualifications based on standards, knowledge, skills, and values. It is a quality-assured national system for the development, recognition, and award of qualifications based on standards of knowledge, skills, and values acquired in different ways and methods by learners and workers of a certain country. It is competency-based and labor market-driven. It is also an assessment-based qualification recognition. The PQF describes the level of educational qualifications and sets the standards for qualification outcomes. On January 16, 2018, the PQF became into law through the issuance of Republic Act Number 10968, entitled An Act Institutionalizing the Philippine Qualifications Framework, or PQF, establishing the PQF-NCC, or the National Coordinating Council, and appropriating funds therefor. PQF is also a collaborative program by the Department of Education, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, Commission on Higher Education, Professional Regulation Commission, and the Department of Labor and Employment. As we continue with our discussion, let us also define qualifications. When we say qualifications, it is a package of competencies describing a particular function or job role existing in an economic sector. It covers the work activities required to undertake a particular job role. It also refers to the formal certification that a person has successfully achieved specific learning outcomes relevant to the identified academic, industry, or community requirements. A qualification confers official recognition of value in the labor market and in further education and training. What are the objectives of the Philippine Qualifications Framework? Republic Act 10968 outlines the following objectives. First, to adopt national standards and levels for outcomes of education. Second, to support the development and maintenance of pathways and equivalencies, which provide access to qualifications and assist people to move easily and readily between the different education and training sectors, and between the sectors and labor market. And third, to align domestic qualification standards with the international qualifications framework, thereby enhancing recognition of the value and comparability of Philippine qualifications and supporting the mobility of Filipino students and workers. Adopting a well-developed qualification framework presents several benefits to learners, academics, workers, professionals, employers, industry, and government. Republic Act 10968 or an act initializing the Philippine qualifications or the PQF will ensure quality in our education and training systems, make qualifications earned here in the country recognizable in other countries, and enable employers to respect and value these qualifications. The given illustration shows the benefits of the Philippine qualifications framework. It promotes mobility, ensures quality, forms unity, provides success, and establishes standards. For further explanation of these benefits, as PQF promotes and improves mobility, it will increase recognition of the value and comparability of the qualification of employment. This will give opportunities for continuous skills enhancement and ultimately more job opportunities for the Filipino workforce. PQF also ensures quality. It coordinates and balances education and employment opportunities for nation building and holistic growth. The PQF and its features strengthens technical education, consolidates education and employment resources. And as it also helps to form unity, it harmonizes education and training qualifications in the country by establishing and institutionalizing qualification standards. It provides the government common standards, taxonomy, and typology of qualifications as basis for granting approvals to stakeholders. PQF also provides quick access of communication and information. It provides employers immediate information on what a worker can be expected to know and do, and are further assured that qualifications are consistent and are based on standards. PQF also establishes standards for education and training. It helps guarantee that these providers adhere to specific benchmarks and are accountable for achieving the same, ultimately ensuring the quality of education and training. The PQF aims to benefit various sectors and stakeholders. This includes the learners, workers, professionals, the employers, industry, the education and training providers, as well as the government or authorities. And how will they be benefited? For the learners, workers, and professionals, PQF encourages lifelong learning, allowing the person to start at the level that suits him and then build up his qualifications as his needs and interests develop and change over time. And also, certificates and licenses will be recognized by the government. How about the employer's industry? The employer's industry are assured that standards and qualifications are consistent with job requirements and demands. PQF also provides common understanding on standards, qualifications, and levels. For the academic or the education and training providers, PQF ensures transparency in training provision, conformance to standards, and preciseness of accountability for learning outcomes. It also provides common understanding of policies and guidelines on credit transfers, articulation, portability, bridges pathways, and RPL, or recognition of prior learning. For the government or authorities, PQF provides the standards, taxonomy, and typology of qualifications as basis for granting approvals to providers and stakeholders. It also harmonizes qualifications in education and training across the
The Philippine Qualification Framework has three domains. These are number one, knowledge, skills, and values. When we say knowledge, this refers to the theoretical and factual information that individuals need to understand and apply in a particular field or profession. Skills are practical abilities or competencies that individuals develop through training, practice, and experience, while values encompasses the ethical principles, attitudes, and professional behaviors expected of individuals within a specific profession. Number 2, application. When we say application of the Philippine Qualification Framework, this would involve establishing standards for education, training, and certification in specific fields, ensuring that professionals meet the necessary criteria to excel in their roles. And number 3, degree of independence. In the context of the Philippine Qualification Framework, the degree of independence typically refers to the learner's ability to work independently at a specific qualification level. The framework provides descriptors for each level of qualification, including the degree of independence expected from learners at that level. So, in grade 12, the different domains of the Philippine Qualification Framework include the following qualification type. In terms of knowledge, skills, and values, they possess functional knowledge across a range of learning areas and technical skills in chosen career tracks with advanced competencies in communication, scientific, critical, and creative thinking, and the use of technologies. They have an understanding of right and wrong, one's history and cultural heritage, and deep respect for self, others and their culture, and the environment. In application, they apply functional knowledge, technical skills, and values in academic and real-life situations through sound reasoning, informed decision-making, and the judicious use of resources, while in the degree of independence, they apply skills in varied situations with minimal supervision. The Philippine Qualifications Framework uses a set of descriptors to define the different levels of qualifications. These descriptors are used to describe the learning outcomes and competencies expected at each level of the framework. Now let's have a general overview of the 8 levels of the PQF descriptors. In level 1, the qualification type is NC1, wherein the knowledge, skills, and values, application, and degree of independence are the basic knowledge and skills needed to perform simple tasks. In level 2, the qualification type is NC2. In this level, it demonstrates fundamental knowledge and skills and typically includes foundational competencies related to a specific field. In level 3, which is the NC3, this demonstrates a higher level of knowledge and skills and includes more advanced and specialized competencies. While in level 4, which has a qualification type of NC4, this demonstrates a range of technical and theoretical knowledge. This typically includes competencies necessary for entry-level positions. As what we have observed, level 1 to 4 is the National Certificate of the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or the TESDA. In level 5, which has a qualification type of diploma, the knowledge and skills are mainly theoretical or abstract with significant depth in some areas together with wide-ranging specialized technical, creative, and conceptual skills. Perform work activities demonstrating breadth, depth, and complexity in the planning and initiation of alternative approaches to skill and knowledge applications across a broad range of technical and/or management requirements, evaluation, and coordination. In application, this Level 5 is applied in activities that are supervisory, complex, and non-routine, which require an extensive interpretation and/or adoption or innovation. In the degree of independence, in conditions where there is a broad guidance and direction, where judgment is required in planning and selecting appropriate equipment, services, and techniques for self and other. Undertake work involving participation in the development of strategic initiatives as well as personal responsibility and autonomy in perform complex technical operations or organizing others. In Level 6 or the baccalaureate degree, this demonstrated broad and coherent knowledge and skills in their field of study for professional work and lifelong learning. Application in professional creative work or research in specialized field of discipline and/or further study. Substantial degree of independence and/or in teams of related fields with minimal supervision. Level 7 or the post-baccalaureate program. Demonstrated advanced knowledge and skills in specialized or multidisciplinary field of study for professional practice, self-directed research, and/or lifelong learning. Applied in professional creative work or research that requires a self-direction and/or leadership in a specialized or multidisciplinary professional work research. High substantial degree of independence that involves exercise of leadership and initiative individual work or in teams of multidisciplinary field. And in Level 8 or the doctoral degree and postdoctoral programs. Demonstrated highly advanced systematic knowledge and skills in highly specialized and/or complex multidisciplinary field of learning for complex research and/or professional practice and/or for the advancement of learning. Applied for professional leadership for innovation, research, and/or development management in highly specialized or multidisciplinary field. Full independence in individual work and/or in teams of multidisciplinary and more complex setting that demands leadership for research and creativity for strategic value added. Significant level of expertise-based autonomy and accountability. Level 5 to 8 is under the Commission on Higher Education or the CHED. These descriptors are used to align educational and training qualifications in the Philippines, making it easier for learners, employers, and educational institutions to understand the level of skills and knowledge associated with each qualification. The Philippine Qualifications Framework aims to ensure that qualifications are relevant, of high quality, and aligned with international standards. The development of the Philippine Qualifications Framework has to be done in consideration of a number of inputs in order to generate the desired outputs. Since it has several levels, each level corresponds to specific inputs and outputs. The inputs considered are the industry needs, 2. The need for global recognition of competencies, 3. Current qualifications issues at all levels, 4. Qualifications issues in recognition of prior learning, 5. Research and policy papers on national qualification framework, and last, national qualification frameworks of other countries. It shall utilize expensive consultations and advocacy with the stakeholders towards the successful implementation of the PQF in the country. On the other hand, outputs of the PQF include qualification levels, descriptors, working groups, qualifications register, pathways and equivalencies, quality assurance, information and guidelines, and international alignment. So, this is a simplified presentation of the PQF as a result of the consultations with the stakeholders. This was presented and approved by the SDC Cabinet level last May 18. It outlines the 8-level qualifications covered by the Philippine Qualification Framework starting from NC1 up to doctoral and postdoctoral programs. The Philippines has a unique trifocalized education system, which include 1. Basic education, 2. Technical vocational education, and 3. Higher education. 3 key agencies are involved in the policy making, administration, and management of formal education. The Department of Education for Basic Education, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or the TESDA for Technical Vocational Education and Training, and the Commission on Higher Education or the CHED for Tertiary and Higher Education. With the implementation of the K-12 program, basic education is composed of 6 grades in addition to the mandatory kindergarten program in the elementary. The secondary level is composed of 4 years junior high school and 2 years senior high school. The third level is a tertiary education consisting of higher education and post-secondary schooling. Higher education is divided into baccalaureate, master's, and doctorate levels in various programs of disciplines. Though compartmentalization exists in the Philippine education system, quality is assured through a standard and accreditation system for basic and higher education institutions and through a unified registration and accreditation system for technical vocational institutions. It is governed by the PQF National Coordinating Council or the PQF NCC, which is composed of the following members. Number 1, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or the TESDA. Number 2, Commission on Higher Education or the CHED. Number 3, Department of Labor and Employment or the DOLE. And number 4, the Professional Regulations Commission or the PRC. This is based on Section 2 of the Executive Order Number 83 Series of 2012. The Philippine Qualifications Framework National Coordinating Committee plays a crucial role in the development, implementation, and promotion of the Philippine Qualifications Framework. The PQF-NCC is responsible for ensuring the quality and coherence of qualifications in the Philippines. These are the powers and functions of the PQF-NCC. 1. Creates technical working groups in support of the detailing and implementation of the PQF. 2. Harmonizes the levels of qualifications with all levels of education. 3. Aligns education standards and learning outcomes to the level descriptors contained herein. 4. Develops and recognizes pathways and equivalencies. 5. Discuss and agree on the elements of the PQF, including but not limited to their principles, key features, definitions or terminologies, structure and governance arrangements, and review and update the PQF. Periodic review and revision of the PQF to keep it updated and relevant to changing economic and social conditions. Another powers and functions of the PQF-NCC are provides information and guidelines in the implementation of the PQF, establishes a quality assurance mechanism. Ensuring the quality of qualifications is a fundamental function of the PQF-NCC. This includes developing guidelines and standards for qualification, development, assessment, and accreditation. Maintains the National Registry of Qualified Manpower. Ensures the international alignment of the PQF with the qualification frameworks of other countries. The committee ensures that the PQF is in alignment with international qualification frameworks to facilitate recognition of Philippine qualifications abroad and promote global mobility. Represents the country in international fora or negotiations on qualification agreements or arrangements. Provides regular feedback on the progress and accomplishments to the Office of the President with respect to the implementation of the order, providing regular reports on the progress and status of the PQF to relevant government bodies and stakeholders. Performs such other functions that may be related to the implementation of the Philippine Qualification Framework. So, the Philippine Qualifications Framework National Coordinating Committee is responsible for developing, coordinating, and overseeing the implementation of the Philippine Qualification Framework in the Philippines. Its functions are essential in promoting a more standardized, transparent, and internationally recognized qualifications framework in the country. Thank you for listening. God bless us all.